Alright, so you just got a bad grade. Everyone's been there. When I was in year 11, I failed my GCSE mocks. As a consequence, I was grounded and pulled out of some of the hobbies that I loved. At the age of 15, I really thought my life was over. The next week, I was just feeling sad, sorry for myself, thinking, why is the world against me? What did I do to deserve this? I started to go down this negative spiral, and a lot of catastrophizing went on. My name's Anthony, and I'm a 4th year medical student studying at the University of Southampton. This video is all about how to deal with failure and how to bounce back, because everyone has failed a test. That's a universal experience, but we can deal with it in different ways. Remember that there's no shame in failing an exam. To prove that there's absolutely no shame in failing, comment down below a time that you failed. You'll find that people are a lot more supportive than you think. But without further ado, let's get into the 3 phases post-exam failure that's going to change things around. So the first part is receiving the grade. Your teacher's handed your paper back, or you've clicked on the online portal and you've seen your mark, and your heart starts to sink a bit. You get this kind of nauseous feeling in your stomach. The first part of receiving the grade is self-acceptance. Allow yourself to be upset. There's nothing wrong with being upset, and allow yourself to be sad. Let your emotions out. Accept the fact that I'm not happy with this and I want to do better. Don't try and hide your real emotions. If you're not happy with it, acknowledge the fact that you're not happy with it. So after you've accepted the grade, after you've come to terms with the fact that you're not happy, then think about the positives. You've heard me right. What are the positives of failing? You might think there's no positives, like it's the end of the world. Remember that failure is part of the process to success. Preventing yourself from making mistakes is the biggest mistake of them all. Just a practical example for me, in medical school, question paper banks are a key part of doing well. And when you start off, you're going to do bad. Doing questions is part of the process. You make mistakes, you learn from them, and you do better next time. Every time you fail, the closer you are to success. Next, you've got to put things into perspective. So really and truly, what is a bad grade? And then peel it back another layer in terms of the wider perspective in life. How is this result going to change your life and your future? If it genuinely does change your future career trajectory, say you fail your medical school entrance exams. If it's genuinely something important to you, then reflect, evaluate, and break down what went wrong and what you need to improve in order to succeed for next time. But maybe it isn't actually that important to you. Maybe after some reflecting and having a broader perspective on things, it really isn't that important. And unpopular opinion, you don't need to be good at everything. No one is. Instead, think long and hard about what you want to be good at and then go all in. Put all your energy into the things that you want to be good at. Say you want to be a doctor. So what if you didn't do so well in your geography exam? When I failed my GCSE mocks, one thing that helped me was learning about stoicism. The idea that my life is a function of my decisions and not my conditioning. In other words, the beauty of life is that I could turn it around as long as I took responsibility. That everything was down to me and I couldn't blame anyone else or make any excuses. Otherwise, I would lose that power over my life. If I was to have control over my life, I would have to take responsibility for everything that I did. Knowing that my future was a direct consequence of my actions was extremely liberating. Instead of thinking, oh, the world's out to get me, I realized that, you know what? I need to take responsibility. I didn't study hard enough. Looking back now, I just didn't study hard enough and I was too busy doing other things. The next important phase is self-reflection. Try and pinpoint exactly what went wrong. Some part of the studying process was inadequately done. For example, it may have been the studying techniques you used. Maybe you worked hard, but you didn't work smart. Or maybe it's the opposite, and you didn't put enough effort in. Really and truly, it comes down to those 2 factors. Did you put enough effort in, and did you use the right studying techniques? Were you too distracted? For me, it was definitely distraction. I tried to think about everything that I'd done in the last month or 2 to try and get ready for this exam. And I realized maybe I've got a bit of a phone addiction. I checked my phone, I looked at my screen time. I do not want to say what it was, because it was insane. What I did was, I deleted Instagram. Maybe your studying techniques are wrong. Frantically writing out notes and rereading textbooks. Scrambling your brain by rereading the same paragraph for the 1,000th time. Hoping that information is somehow going to get absorbed into your brain through osmosis. If you want to know more about studying techniques, then I've got a link to my video in the description about some of the studying techniques I used in order to achieve the top 1% at medical school. Right, so the final phase is the action plan. The most important bit. We've reflected, we've put things into perspective, we've accepted it, we've grieved it. Now it's time to actually make sure this doesn't happen again. So first part of the action plan is start planning early. The earlier you start, the less stressful it will be when it comes closer to the exam. The more ready you'll feel. When you start earlier, obviously you'll get better grades, but also it's going to allow you to do the activities you normally do and enjoy, such as sports, seeing your mates, your friends. It's going to allow you to do these things without as much stress. You know that you've put in the work from early, so you feel like you can treat yourself and mentally reset yourself by hanging out with your mates. Then do it, because at the end of the day, studying is never going to be sustainable if you don't do any of the other things that you enjoy. Once you've started early and you've got the studying techniques down to the T, then all you've got to do is be consistent. I guess I shouldn't say all you have to do, because this is actually the most important bit. We're in the day and age of short-term gratification, the instant dopamine release from a quick like or scroll on social media, the access to pornography, the access to fast food, everything. Consistency is arguably the hardest thing to do when it comes to acing your exams. You have to break free from these habits that tie you down mentally. Break free from that state of autopilot where every day just goes by, you don't really remember what you did in the day. You go to bed thinking, what did I actually do today? I guarantee that putting in the work on other aspects of your life too, making sure you're exercising, you're looking after your health, you're sleeping well, doing the hard thing and building your discipline, you'll see your grades skyrocket. You'll be consistent and you'll turn this around. Finally, just to remind everyone that you are a lot more than your grades. Your grades do not directly determine your life, your future, your self-worth. There's a lot more to life than exam grades. Remember that the more failures you get, the closer you are to success. I know around the world there's such a pressure, there's so much pressure on people to get good grades. I've seen it in the comments of some of my other videos. There's so much pressure on everyone. They think that their life is over. In order to prove that you're worth more than your grades, comment down below any stories that you have about failures, about anything. Let's build up a community where we can share positivity and we can share the love around. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. God bless, and let's win together.